Good morning. Happy Monday. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Let me tell you, I my weekend started off good, but then it turned to mayhem, turmoil, and mishaps, let's say. And so, I wanted to say my mishaps always make for a great Monday message. So I'm going to share with you. I learned some valuable lessons this weekend, which was good. Um, so I a while ago decided when I was on vacation with Liam, I've got this thing about the paranormal because when I was growing up, I was convinced that I heard footsteps in the house and that my house was haunted, and I to this day still believe it's haunted. But that sparked a little fascination with the paranormal world, and um, and then losing my friend Amy too. I wanted to kind of understand life after death and this, that, the other. So that just sort of sets the background. Not to mention, I went to a very haunted college, Flagler College, and it's known to be haunted. In fact, I'm going to have to do one of my things on it, Flagler College. For example, there was a story in Flagler College about the Mirador room, and evidently Henry Flagler, who opened the college, his wife went insane. So they locked her up in the tower of the Flagler College Hotel, of the Ponce de Leon Hotel, it would have been back then, locked her up in a room. And it was this beautiful room and had mirrors in it. And she went crazy and committed suicide in the room. That's the legend. I haven't ever checked it out, but that was the legend of it. And then it was said that that room is so haunted when people stay in it, they go crazy. Like literally, they go insane, just like she did. And then at 3 o'clock in the morning, the whole room starts to vibrate. So one day when I was at college, I creeped my way up to the Mirador room. And I remember I was like, oh my gosh, this is the room. And I'm like, why is every other room in the college used, but they won't use this room? Which I'm just saying, it's a legitimate question. But there happened to be the resident assistant up there, and I was looking, with my friend, and we're looking in there, and she goes, "Are you guys looking for the Mirador room?" And I'm like, "Yes, yes, I am." And I'm like, she goes, "Yeah, they told me a lot of people might come up here looking about for it and stuff." And I said, "Oh my gosh." She goes, "Yeah, they let me go inside it when I first became resident assistant." And I said, "Are you serious?" I was like, "What happened? Did you feel like the presence of Mrs. Flagler? Did you hear the room? Did the room like start shaking or vibrating or anything like that?" And she looked at me. She goes, "Honey, the only thing I saw in that room was pigeon shit." And I'm like, "Oh." And she goes, "There's nothing in that room. And go down, get back downstairs and get out of here." I'm like, okay." And I raced downstairs. Um, but I still think there's something to that room. But that's kind of my fascination with the paranormal. Lots more different stories like that. Um, so I started when Liam and me were on a vacation. We went to Savannah, and of course, Savannah is known to be haunted. And I wanted to go on like a ghost tour, but I didn't want to be around a lot of people. I was like, gosh, I wish they just had like an audio ghost tour that you could go around. I could pop on my player, and then just it would guide me around and show me all these haunted places and tell me about them. And as I was on vacation, I was like, you know what? I could put something together like that. That's something I could do. It's within my skill set. It's just a podcast, and I could build something like that. So I came home and I started working on this little venture, and I called it the Haunted Audio Ghost Safari. And I tested my first one out with in Charlotte, and that went well. And when I had to go to Hollywood, when I got to go to Hollywood to go celebrate my friend's 50th birthday, I took that as an opportunity to turn it into a business trip and come up with a haunted Hollywood version of the ghost tour. And I figured I would launch it on Groupon because I know Groupon. Anytime I'm looking for something interesting and fun to do, I look on Groupon and I was like, "Oh, that's cool," and I do it. So I wanted to launch it on Groupon. So everything comes to fruition. I've got Charlotte up and running, and I've got Haunted Hollywood up and running. And I actually put together the Groupons for it this past week, and I got them both up and running. Now, the only thing I'm trying to figure out is a way to redeem the Groupon with the Ghost Tour. Because what I eventually wanted to happen was for me to just sit back, relax. People buy the Groupon, they get the tour, and I don't even know, and what's going on. Just cha-ching, cha-ching. They have fun, and I reap the rewards for my business. So it's not quite how things worked out. I was in bed on Saturday night, just kind of relaxing, and I was literally dozing off. And I hear my phone start doing all these notifications, and I look. I was like, "Oh, somebody from California is on my website." And people are running around the website, which is www.ghost-safari.com if you want to check it out. But anyway, shameless plug. Anyway, they were on it, and I was like, "Okay, whatever." And I just kind of dozed off. And then I noticed that my phone was going crazy. I'm like, what's going on? And I was like, and I picked up my phone and I was half asleep, and it said, congratulations. Somebody just purchased your tour. I'm like, oh my God. So it worked. Somebody's actually buying it. And then panic. All the spiritual work I've done throughout the year, everything went out the door. Cue the circus music. I'm like, okay, somebody's on it. And I started freaking out. I'm like, oh my God, I hope they have fun. Are they going to have fun? And then I see that she sent me a message saying, hey, I'm having some issues with the tour. I'm like, ah. And then there was another person underneath it saying, hey, I bought the tour. Now what do I do? And I'm like, oh my gosh, the empire is falling. And so I raced to my office at like 11 o'clock at night. And I'm like going on. I'm like, what was I thinking? Why did I do this? And I'm like I can't even think straight. I'm sending like the wrong tour to them. I sent them the Charlotte tour. And he's like, okay, sorry about that. Here's the tour. Enjoy. And then I realized I sent the wrong tour. And I'm like, oh shit. And so then I like go back and I try to figure out, and I can't figure out how to access the Haunted Hollywood tour. So I'm like cutting and pasting links and sending it. And it's just insanity, and my stomach is like going crazy, and I'm just like, oh my God, what the hell am I gonna do? Everything's going down the drain. These people are gonna give me negative reviews. What was I thinking? And so yeah, the swirling of craziness and I had to stop and say, take a breath. What do you need to do? And then I kind of, okay, la la la, and I pieced it through, and I did what I needed to do, and then I went to the room, and I was like, oh my gosh, what in the world just happened to you? You are no Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos because you're quite, quite a little psychotic and crazy when it comes to your tour. So I knew I was just kind of still swirling, and I kind of just was like, okay, center, pray, because that's all I need to do. So I just prayed. And at that point, I just, asked God, well, what it boiled down to was the redemption process sucked. So help them to have a good tour and help them not to give me a bad review. But if they do, it's well-deserved. And if they need a refund, I will give them a refund. That's all I can do. And let's just try and get some sleep, and we'll do work on it in the morning. So I managed to doze off and go to sleep. And I woke up the next morning still feeling a little like, like I was walking on a tightrope. And I finally just had to stop, and I think I got to just get this on paper. I got to do my debrief. I got to figure out what went wrong, what went right, and do kind of a big fear inventory on this. And that's using the tools of the program that I've been gifted with for a 12-step recovery. Is that I could have just thrown the towel and said, screw this isn't going to work. I can't go through this every time. But I believe in it, and I believe that it's a good thing, and I believe that I can make this work. But I need to pull God in the mix first of all, and then I need to kind of take a look at what's happening with me if I want to be a successful entrepreneur, which I did. So I took a look at it, and I did my little debrief, and some good things happened. The good things were somebody actually purchased it. Because I remember when it happened, I was like, oh my God, somebody actually bought this. Oh my God, this is great, but what the heck, So I had to stop stop myself from tying this, my, if they don't like it, it doesn't mean they don't like me. It doesn't mean that I'm not good enough, which is what I was tying myself to the product, and I'm separate from the product. So that I had to slice down right there. Um, and then I had to take the liabilities and use it as a learning experience and turn it into assets, like they talk about in 12 step recovery. So when you do a 10 step, that's what you're doing. You're taking a look at what went wrong, what went right, and then turning it into a positive so you can fix it in the future. And so I came up with a lot of aha moments and understandings of what I need to do. And basically, I got to get in touch with Groupon today at some point and have a little chat about our redemption process. And be willing and know that is a very good chance I might be hearing from my first customers that they want a refund because of the process. Haven't heard anything yet. Doesn't mean it's not coming, but I'm bracing myself. And if they come back and ask for a refund, I'm got to be willing to just bite the bullet and give it, and just move on and keep plugging away and moving forward with everything. Um, so that was good. And the fear ultimately came from me, my ego, tying ego, selling this out, turning it into making it about me when it's not about me. And it really came down to, I did this as a service because as a mom, I thought this would be something fun to have. And I had to come back to my ultimate mission, which was, have fun helping other people's have fun. Helping other people have fun. That's my mission. Have fun helping other people have fun. And some people are going to like it, others are not. And it's just part of the process. And I'm just going to have to, celebrate the ones that like it and then deal, with the ones that don't. See if there's a way to fix it to where everyone can like it. Not everyone's going to like it. And that's part of the equation. Part of the winning equation is not everybody's going to like it. I have to understand that this whole thing I went through is just part of the process. When Disney opened, it was just, I started thinking about Walt. In fact, I watched a lot of like specials on Walt to make myself feel better because he had the same vision too. He wanted to have fun helping other people have fun. It all started from him sitting at a carousel watching his little girl have fun, saying, wouldn't it be great if, and that's kind of how, not saying I'm the same level with Walt, but, on the same scale, we had the same mission. And he took it to much greater length than I'm willing to do at this point. But when he opened up Florida, the park wasn't ready. And I think that happened on the first day of the first Disney, actually. The cement wasn't dry, rides weren't working, everything went bad. And the same thing, actually, my friend pointed out, because I'm a Universal Studios person, when we opened Universal Florida, the same thing happened. There's a mile-long line of people at guest relations because it was a horrible experience. But the park didn't close. They adjusted, they moved on, they fixed what needed to be fixed, and now they're thriving, both of them. And many people come there and enjoy, and they've made many people happy. So that's what I got to remember. It's all part of the process, and accept that it's going to be part of the process. The first customer, is going to be a learning experience, and I have to build that into the equation and learn from it. I don't give up. I don't throw in the towel. I have to learn and grow. And that's the beauty of not only working through this process, but having the tools of 12-step recovery, because that's what 12-step recovery in alcoholism is all about, is using the tools, self-discovery, to grow your relationship with God and tie yourself to your higher power where your relief comes. And ultimately, everything's not in my control. I do the footwork, all the rest is in God's hands, and it's going to turn out how it needs to. I don't know if you can hear that in the background. My laundry's done. I talked much longer than I anticipated, but if you make it to the end of this Monday message, I hope you find, if you are trying to, beating yourself up for something that, for whatever reason you're beating yourself up, put the club down and, pick up the pencil, pick up the paper, and start dissecting it. Take a look what's going on. Why is this affecting you? How is this affecting you? And I promise you, fear is probably at the center of it. And anytime there's fear, it's just not having that connection with the higher power. So check out that, find that path to why you're not connected to your higher power. And once you fix that connection, all will be well. So that's my Monday message for today. It's a long one, I know, but I needed to talk and get it out. Like I said, my mishap is it makes for a great Monday message. So I hope you enjoyed this Monday message. I hope you got something out of it, and I'll see you next week for another Monday message. If you want to check out my ghost tour, you can look on because it might have sparked something. You might say, "Oh, why don't I check this out?" It's www.ghost-safari.com. You could also look on my website, the Facebook page, Haunted Audio Ghost Safari, and you can see a little more about that. But anyway, that's my shameless plug. I'll see you next week for another Monday message. Bye.